date of the ascension as it gets close, or will we be taken by surprise when it suddenly pops into 4D in one day?
From what I understand, we'll be able to, as we get closer, give a rough estimate. We will not know the exact specific date, time, hour, minute, second kind of thing.
Will the Earth changes and ascension happen at the same time?
Well, the Earth changes are already going on. Ascension is a process. We tend to think of ascension as like the flip point where our bodies move from 3 to 4th. We're actually going through the process of Earth changes and ascension both at the same time right now. So yes, they are happening at the same time, but not quite the way you're asking.
What is the relationship between our souls and our spirits? When I center myself by feeling what is self and not self, does that include my spirit?
Your spirit is all of you. Your spirit can't be destroyed. It was created by the Creator. It can't be injured or wounded or anything like that. It always exists. Your soul is the part of you that remains conscious and does the thinking.
In the higher dimensions, well, like in 3D, we have these organic carbon bodies that are like, they consider them like shells or like, you know, putting on gloves kind of thing. And then when you transition into the higher dimensions, like 4D and up, the soul is what gives your spirit essence its form, its physicality.
Is the Galactic Federation of Light a front for harmful beings disguised as helpful ones? I've heard.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is one of the primary methods that the Reptoid and Grey Confederates use to soften up 3D human worlds for invasion. Not just this planet, 3D human worlds.
Do all souls travel through the Pleiades first from Source to Earth?
No. No.
No, give up on the Pleiades. They never did you any favors. Any.
Yeah. Think about it. The ones that sold us out to the Reptoids came from the Pleiades.
Yep. Yeah, those wonderful blonde, blue-eyed Alcyones. Yeah.
Half of the races that have attempted multiple times to blow up the planet or kill us have come from the Pleiades.
What we've got going on with the Pleiades and Pleiadians is basically a psyop that began in the 70s with channelers and contactees who claimed, oh, these good guy Pleiadians visited them. The name Pleiadian or the title Pleiadian got associated with good guys. This has been used relentlessly against you to trick you. Our Pleiadian nowadays is a key word for I am lying through my teeth and I actually mean you harm.
Yeah. I was going to say, even, back in the time when the Bible was being written, there's all these stories about these blonde-haired, blue-eyed, light-skinned beings. People have been conditioned for thousands of years now to think of these blonde-haired, blue-eyed, light-skinned beings as gods and as higher beings, and that was a conditioning to make people, soften up to the Pleiadians.
What is the harm in providing the public with intel about your progress, as you have already told us to expect completion by spring next year?
Well, a lot of our progress is still operational, which means that if we tell it, it will provide enough information that it might be able to be used to stop further progress. It's part of the whole notion of going silent or going dark, in that we provide very limited information about what we're up to so that we keep the enemy guessing at all times. There's a few things we don't mind them knowing. That is, that we know that we're being kept out, for one, and that we're doing something about it. Obviously, we're not going to tell them what we're doing about it because we don't want to give them an opportunity to counter that.
I mean, think about it, and we're currently in a state of war right now, and you don't give your playbook or your battle strategies or, all your methods of and techniques and stuff to the enemy, just as in and here's an example I know a lot more people can relate to. When you've got a football game or a basketball game or something like that, you don't give your playbook to the other team.
Lower management of this New World Order, they're scrambling like there's no tomorrow because they're completely exposed and they're being handed over. As people are awakening, they're being handed over. The problem with that is that if you go with the Orion model, what happens is the very top echelon, what they do is they'll kill 1 or 2 layers of lower management, so there's no one left to tell the story. This is what's occurring now. There have been people who have talked about the electronic fence around the Earth, where many people who were very good telepaths, I don't want to use the word channel. I've never really appreciated that word at all. But let's just say telepaths who were receiving information from higher realms. When that net, that electronic fence was put around the Earth, much of the information changed. And that's because you weren't talking to the same entities or energies. Okay? There was an intercession. There was they just started screwing with everybody. Okay? Well, when the benevolent ships come into our atmosphere, what they will do is they will purposely sit inside that electronic fence, and they will burn holes in that fence. And as long as they're sitting there, information gets in and out. It isn't necessarily coming from the ships, but on the higher dimensions, they know what's happening here. Okay, what's happening not only here on Earth but in other star systems. This is a really big deal. This is like a showdown of soul beings and those who are, let's say, not necessarily have soul or have fragmented soul, but also AI, artificial intelligence, that believes itself to be superior.
Are there still space battles occurring in the Sol system, or have the Draco Grey infestation been cleaned up?
There are still space battles occurring in the system. These are not as common as they used to be. So we still see ongoing attempts of beings attempting to invade or cause problems here. And we usually shut them down in pretty quick order. Sometimes it gets drawn out a bit, but yeah, we do our best to stop it.
There are still Dracos and Greys on the planet, yeah, and Hydras too, and a bunch of other ones. There's over 2,500 different races and species currently on the planet throughout not only 3D but the higher dimensions as well, currently.
Do people in the higher dimensions get hurt the same way as 3D humans get hurt?
They experience pain. They experience damage. If you chop off their arm, they will understand it as their arm being chopped off, and it will hurt. The difference is they can have that arm regenerated, or in my case, I just pick it up and stick it back on. You ought to see the faces of the people trying to hack me to bits when I do that, especially when I do that with my head. It's hilarious.
Mother Earth must be so tired and sad with all the fighting over her and her inhabitants. What can we do physically, emotionally, spiritually to help heal Earth so she can shift?
Do what you can to be good to yourself, good to your friends, family, neighbors, community, other people, random strangers. Do what you can to be kind to the environment. She's going to understand and accept the fact that you still have to live. You still have to do your best to keep alive and keep your family alive, which means that some of your options may be limited because we are currently living in a situation where most of the options we have are destructive to Mother Earth. She can understand and forgive that, but do what you can to be kind to her. Do what you can to send her love and appreciation. She'll feel it. She'll appreciate it. use your discernment. Just because somebody has said something to you that helped you out, that helped awaken you, don't feel intellectually or psychologically beholden to anyone. Take every piece of information from every source as it comes, and you put that through all of your filters, regardless of who told it to you. The other thing I want to say is, because your thought is power, because this is a matter of co-creating a reality, don't allow your creational power to be used in a way that you don't want. If you really don't want to see a world in which most of us are dead and the rest of us are slaves, do not contribute your belief, your power, your thoughts to that, even through your own fear. Instead, channel your energy, and I mean channel as in digging a channel and letting it run down that way, not as in, inviting a being into yourself. Channel that energy into making a future that you like and want. Focus on what you want to build, not what you're afraid of. You can acknowledge the things that they want to do, you can acknowledge your fears and the things that you're afraid of, but don't put your energies into building that fear. Put your energies into building the solution. Yep. And it doesn't matter if you're some kind of psychic big shot. Doesn't matter if you're, somebody who thousands of people are listens to, or if you're just volunteering down at the local soup kitchen helping make the world a better place. It doesn't matter the scale. Put your energies into what you can do. Don't dwell on what everybody else does, what you can do. You are the hero of your own personal story. So take control of your life. Don't be a passenger, be a driver.
Take care of each other. The transition is just around the corner. It'll be here in a blink of an eye. The world will change.
The conclusion I've come to is incredibly wild, that those in charge have been successful in keeping secret the greatest story of mankind.
The evidence is overwhelming that Earth is being visited by intelligently controlled extraterrestrial spacecraft.
The CIA guy standing next to me says, we're confiscating all this data and you're all sworn to secrecy.
They've all been studying this. They have more data than I do.
So the government has dumped disinformation and misinformation into the field for decades. They've undermined research.
I have lost faith in representative government. I truly think we're in gridlock. It doesn't work, and so we need to make a change.
I think it's ignorant of any people not to seek out what we need to know to continue the universe.
You give this committee a lot of reasons for us to say, open those files.
You're walking up to it and you touch it. What do you do? Touch it that? Do you grab it? Tell us about that.
Okay. I started doing the walk around 360 of the object. And as I came around, I seen there was an inscription on the front. And
this is what you saw, right?
That's what I saw. So I started walking around the craft, and I seen the glyphs, and as I, ran my hand from the fabric of the craft, it was smooth to touch.
You ran your hands along it?
Oh, yeah.
I believe that the time is now to lift the veil of secrecy that has shrouded this subject for over 60 years, and the subject of UFOs should now be openly accepted in the mainstream media.
They exist, they are here to save us against the insanity of our leaders.
I agree with you. They should open those Roswell files.
There's only one way to regain trust. Find and tell the truth.
If it's out there, if it's real, we have a right to know.